welcome to the Viva Ya podcast. I'm your host, V, and your main character. Most of this show is going to almost always revolve around me. It is an extension of my ego, and I'm very grateful if you're tuning in to the radio broadcast of my ego. Not on a radio, but I like to think of it as a radio show. Well, fun thought of the moment is actually a fun question of the moment, which I just pulled from my 5-year journal. Ask a question every day, answer the question each year, basically. A lot of them are pretty whack. I'm not going to recommend this journal, but it was a fun gift, and I appreciate it, and I'm happy about it. But some of the questions are really lame. I'm just pulling out the best of the questions. And this one asked, what's your favorite way to relax? For me, I'd say taking a bath. For most of the year, I like taking a bath to relax. And my bath comprises 4 parts. Almost too hot, almost unbearably hot, but not scalding, of course, but really hot. It's like being put into a sweat lodge, except submerged in water. I like to have some candles going. I like to put on some music, and what I'm playing or into varies. It's not always relaxing bath music. Sometimes I just play more aggressive music, but lower, which can be very relaxing. Give it a try sometime. And often these days I'm doing a bit of some German dark wave, very obscure German dark wave, or at least obscure in terms of where you can find it online and how I've come across it by chance. Then I like to put some scents. I like to pack a bowl, get a little tiny hit, and then get sent to the moon. Or I should say I get sent on a vision quest. The high heat and the sweating, kind of like a sauna steam room experience, really kind of puts me in a funny headspace. It just kind of warps me into my mind, and my body has a moment to really relax, decompress, heal, ideally. I have some persistent injuries, so I often take baths to help with the healing process, help facilitate that healing. Got a lot of updates to share. If I haven't already mentioned, I mentioned in the past, been wrapping up the interviews for my other show that I'm going to be doing, and I'm just thinking about how much work I have to do and trying to not get anxious about it, but I've given myself lots of time to get through all of it. Re-listening to these conversations just literally warms my heart. I was listening to one the other day, editing it, and it just, I cried. I cried a little bit, and cried a little bit more, cried a little bit later. For me, I'm going to be sharing all the things that affect me, and I can't be the only one that feels this way about these things. So I'm hoping once they get shared that they'll be receptive and people will like it. We shall see. Who knows? Winter is kind of coming to an end. Winter is winding down here in Buffalo. Buffalo's very famous for having an exceptionally difficult winter. I think that just has to do with a lot of journalism and sensationalism. The winter's pretty mild here, in my opinion. The worst of it these years is 2 solid months of freezing weather where it's mostly frozen and snow sticks around and ice sticks around. But nowadays, it's all pretty much melted up and receded. We'll probably still have some more days that snow, but nothing's going to stick to the ground once we start having too many hot days. March has already had a few 40-degree days forecasted, 40-degree plus. We got 55 coming up soon. It's just, winter's pretty much done. It's just done. March is just a slushy month because nothing really freezes. Ooh, another update on the food and fruit front. I love eating fruit. I'm almost always going to be eating some kind of fruit throughout the year. And I most recently talked about how much I love citrus in the winter. It's just I'm fortunate to be living in New York State because I can get citrus from Florida, which is, not local, but at least it's not being shipped in across the ocean. I try to stay with the seasons. I try to do local, and we've gotten some bangerang citrus this year. Some delicious, that just all the navels I've been getting, I get the big bags that are 4 or 5 something pounds. Sometimes go through a couple in a week. But more importantly, I like grapefruit, but grapefruit is often disappointing. A really good grapefruit should be tart and sweet, not just tart and bitter. But I've been fortunate enough to procure, with the help of my clown girlfriend, from Massachusetts Avenue Project. Shout out to Massachusetts Avenue Project for sourcing local seasonal produce. And you'd think, wait, what? How is that local? There's a farm here, Thorpe's Family Farm, and they have a sister farm in Florida. And so we got a little connection right there. And I must say the navel oranges are a bit disappointing, but the grapefruits last year, this year, I've tried them again this year, just as good as I remember. Super juicy, super sweet. I'll cut it in quarters, then I'll quarter it again. And then when I'm eating that 1/8 slice, half of the experience is just sucking the juice into my mouth. I eat them entirely, but at first you got to just get that juiciness under control, or else it's just going to drip everywhere when you try to take a bite. And I don't want that. I want every single drop. And the other amazing thing about these grapefruit and just local farm produce in general, it lasts so much longer. Like the grapefruit itself, the outside rind will start to get really ugly. It'll start to dry. It'll start to look like it's bad. And then you open up and it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. It just looks beautiful. Maybe I'll share a photo. I don't know where to share photos in show notes. Maybe a link. Maybe I'll share a photo on the Instagram. I have an Instagram that's semi-promotional, just my Instagram where I create shit. Because I've moved away from using my private for that. And I just don't want to share private with randos. But if you're a fan of this show, check out my Instagram, Viva Ya, underscores in the spaces. But I think you'll be able to find it in the show notes, because I usually do the show notes, last I checked. And then another fun bit of update news, I had my first day of subbing. I am going to be substitute teaching for the Buffalo Public School system. There's 60 buildings in total. It's a lot. It's a lot of buildings. They're just like their own units, And there's like an online system where you pick up gigs and all that. And there's full day, half day, per diem. So that has its perks. It affords me flexibility in my life, which is what I prefer. And it allows me to take on a lot of work if I want, scale back. There's a lot of scalability with this. And I'll be sharing much, much more about it. I'm sure it's going to start being featured as regular stories in the podcast, or the cast, the VCast. Also my Substack. In case you want a written version of things, the fun things I really have to share about that first day of subbing is that I did a remote. I did a remote segment on location that I would like to share with you. And here it is. I hope you enjoy. I'm walking around downtown. I'm on my lunch break, the last few minutes of it, from my substitute teaching. And I'm honestly exploring a lot of Buffalo on foot. I'm usually zipping by on my bicycle, and I'm just noticing by the convention center this little in-between pedestrian pathway. And for the first time, I feel like I'm actually a part of the bustle of downtown Buffalo, because normally I'm just passing through. I'm almost always passing through, and it's a warm winter day meaning might be 40 right now, and there's definitely lots of construction going on. That part is very city, but I'm also surprised at how many people are walking around. I kind of feel like usually downtown feels pretty dead, but I think that's also because I'm usually passing through downtown or I end up downtown in the evening. I would say Buffalo downtown, a big chunk of it, if not most of it, is kind of like Midtown Manhattan. It just kind of mostly shuts down as soon as it's past 5 p.m. But this is just it's interesting. This is a street I'm always biking through. And I'm also thinking, timing of it is so... Ooh, I'm just looking down a cool alleyway. Might have to take a photo of this alley. I just think alleys are really cool. I just want to take a photo. Sneaking in. Photo's been snapped. I guess maybe some reinsurance that I needed. I was subbing about 10 years ago, almost, at this point. Maybe 9. I had some trepidation. It felt like maybe I was going backwards. And now I'm getting some affirmations because I just want work that's flexible. I don't live to work. Work is something that helps me live. And work, to me, is things that people pay me to do. I provide some kind of value, some kind of service, and you pay me to do it, I'm happy to provide. And in that way, I'm totally okay with that exchange. It's just that rent's really fucking expensive. People don't get paid enough, myself included. But I can make it work. That's the key thing. Ooh, I don't need to walk through. I'm going to walk through a parking lot that's quieter. I think one of the worst things that Buffalo did for its downtown was bulldoze, demo so many beautiful old buildings and put up parking lots. It's the issue for a lot of what I imagine non-huge mega cities. I'm sure it's an issue in other cities as well, but no one really thinks about parking lots as much when you're in New York City. But if you go to like formerly Hell's Kitchen kind of area, now it's all big old huge parking lot buildings. I'm also seeing a charter school that's right across the street from the school I'm subbing at. And the school I'm subbing at has a really beautiful building front. I think I'm going to walk over there and snap a shot too. Buffalo's got a lot of beautiful old buildings. It's definitely fun to walk around, but then you can't help but wonder what it would be like if we had way more mixed-use buildings, like residential spaces that also have cool, interesting things at the base of the building. You know, the mixed-use building. And we do have a little bit of that downtown, but then it just seems like sometimes every other spot is a parking lot. And it's just such a sad thing. This is not something unique to Buffalo. This is what a lot of mid-sized cities, I imagine, are experiencing. It's what I see. But it's all about the layout. Like, for example, Rochester is just an hour east of here, roughly, with some change. And it's... the downtown just feels more bustling. I would say even like Syracuse's downtown feels more bustling, like at night. Or maybe throughout the day, like there's always some kind of bustle going on somewhere. But it feels very fortuitous to be able to walk around because not too long ago, all the ground was covered in snow. It's still quite a bit of snow, but we've had a couple of really warm days. Oh boy. And now it definitely sounds like a downtown, that's for sure. But downtowns don't need to be dominated by cars. That's just an unfortunate happenstance, so to speak. It's not inevitable. It doesn't have to be like this, you know? And there's just an interesting feeling I'm experiencing being down here. It feels almost kind of surreal. I feel like a detached observer because this is not going to become my regular stomping ground. As much as I like this school, I'm subbing, so there's no guarantee of when I'll next have shifts, but I did pick up 2 more tomorrow and the day after at the same school. It's a culinary school for high schoolers, which is pretty dope. I think that's pretty dope. Culinary and hospitality school. And yeah, I'm just really trying to just take in the experience and appreciate it for what it is. I'm mostly doing hall duty. It's just a little understimulating, but so I'm about to get back to where I'm supposed to be. My lunch break's about wrapping up. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little remote. And maybe next time I'll take a little bit of I'll do a little bit of recording inside the student-run hospitality restaurant thing they got downstairs. These student-run, they have a restaurant cafe that the students can work in. It's pretty neat. I'm just learning all this stuff. So, all right, I'll catch you soon. Okay, that was my first remote debut. There's going to be more. Originally, this was going to be a mostly remote podcast. The plan was to do podcasts on my bike. We're going to see how well that works. I bicycle everywhere, and I'm often doing lots of fun, interesting things on my bicycle, and I kind of want a little slice of life experience. But it's been winter. It's a little trickier logistics-wise to do that, but I just want to let you know there's going to be a lot more of those. And not necessarily on my feet, more often than not on my bike, unless it's on break while I'm doing some work. This past winter has just been a warm-up for me for the podcast. I have lots of fun ideas, and I really kind of want to create a space that kind of lets people into my head and lifestyle, really. So that's why I want to record when I'm on my bike. We'll see. There's wind. There's so many logistical things, like wind being a big one right there. Just you don't even have to be going that fast again. I got to sound the whole time. I don't want to do that to you guys. We'll see what we can do. Just something I wanted to share with you guys. Wait, hold on a second. Hello?
Hey, V!
Who is this?
It's Uncle Billy.
God damn it, Uncle Billy, I told you not to ever call me on this number.
You said if it was an emergency, it was okay.
Uncle Billy, how the fuck is this an emergency? Tell me that right now.
Okay, look. You're smart, and I need your opinion on something, and this is very important, okay? I'm trying to get this disc that says Command and Conquer to work on my new computer. But I don't see a disk drive or anything. How do I make this thing work on here?
How is this even an emergency, Uncle Billy?
What do you mean? I gotta save the world against the Brotherhood of Nod, you know?
God damn it, Uncle Billy. What are you talking about? I don't even understand the things you're saying.
Look, you gotta have a release. And Command and Conquer, it's a classic. But, yeah, it does what it does.
Are you trying to play the original Command and Conquer from 20 years ago?
Absolutely. I still have this disc here. It says it works with, one second here. Windows 95. What are they up to now? Windows 2025.
Uncle Billy, what operating system does your computer even have?
Hold on. How do I check that?
I don't think this is an emergency at all. I think you got something else that you really care about that you want to share with everyone, or at least me.
Look, V, it's been a bit, and you haven't shown up in, Glendale in a long time.
Why would I show up to Glendale, Uncle Billy?
That's where I
Why
live.
am I going to Uncle Glendale? Why am I going to go to Glendale to see you? I'm trying to get away from you. This is why I moved across the state.
Well, you could have moved further, so that to me tells me, hey, maybe the bridge is still open.
You're not entirely wrong. It was because as much as I can't stand you, I also might actually miss you a little bit.
That's the old Billy charm,
Well, why don't you make yourself useful and share one of the stories you usually share, which is why we're even friends in the first place, because you got some really, 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 I don't know how else to say, they're just very Queens kind of stories.
All right. Have I told the one with that aqueduct?
What? An aqueduct?
Aqueduct racetrack.
Oh, okay. I started to imagine like the Roman water irrigation system.
The what now?
Never mind, Uncle Billy. Please continue.
Yeah, aqueduct. It's in, what part of Queens is that? We'll just say Rockaway. It's a racino now, whatever that means. It's a fancy way to say they got a casino and horses and sports books. But, back in, what was it, 1993, I think it was. I was in my Dodge Duster, and I was going down Cross Bay Parkway, or Boulevard, whatever the fuck it is. I was driving down there, and I'm like, I'm going to place my bets, and I'm gonna find a horse, and I'm going to pet it for good luck. Well, I made the mistake of holding out the carrot the wrong way. Let's just say that's how I lost my pinky finger on my right hand.
Wait, what happened? How'd you lose your pinky?
Well, I'm holding the carrot out for the horse, and, the horse, maybe not that smart, maybe not that bright, maybe I'm holding my wrong finger out. And he chomps right into my pinky. Ooh, that horse has a taste for blood.
Yeah, he had a taste for your blood, Uncle Billy, and it sounds like he was trying to kill you.
I mean, you know what? It would have been quicker than the way I bled my bank account dry that year.
Uncle Billy, I just don't understand how you're still alive sometimes.
I wake up every day, and I ask myself the same thing. And you know what I owe it to? A steady diet of bacon, eggs, coffee, and more bacon. That's just breakfast.
Is that why you didn't bleed out? Because your blood flow is so lethargic from all that cholesterol?
That's what the doctor tells me. He says you got slow blood, Billy. And I go, what does that mean? Is it better than I have fast blood?
Whew. Well, Uncle Billy.
Yeah, that's uncle to you. It sounds weird when you just call me Billy.
Come to think of it, and we're going to have to save this for another day, I don't really understand why you're even called an uncle. You're definitely not my uncle. And I don't think I've ever seen you with, what do you call kids these days that aren't yours, that your brother or sister had?
There's niece and nephews, and then I think some people say nibbling if they're trying not to gender a child. But, I'm okay with that. That's fine with me.
I don't think I've heard that one before, but...
things change, times change. I'm kind of like, a duck. Water rolls off my ass.
I think there's a lot more than that that's rolling off of you, Uncle Billy.
Yeah, I haven't showered in a couple of days. There's definitely a funk.
You're getting oil slick.
Hey, that's what they say.
Well,
when you eat as many cold cuts as I do, you can kind of just glide down the stairs really quick.
Uncle Billy, that's disgusting.
What? Nitrates, they're good for you, right?
No, I think you're confusing that with another micronutrient that starts with an N.
Oh, see, this is why I call you. So you're smart.
Uncle Billy, I can't be too upset by that compliment.
Yeah, see, look, I ain't too bad, but look, besides the point, do you have any recommendations for gangrene?
God damn it, Billy. Now I'm officially too disgusted to continue this anymore.
All right, I'll go to the doctor, all right. That's what they call themselves these days.
All right, Uncle Billy. I think I think everybody, including myself, has just had enough of you, and it's time to wrap this up.
All right. Is it okay if I call you another time?
No, it's not okay. I told you this number was only for emergencies, and I feel like you're abusing this.
One man's emergency is another man's regular day,
Yeah, and it sounds like to me, Uncle Billy, you're just having another regular day.
Another day in paradise. All right, V, you take care of yourself, and, stay away from, weird plants, okay?
Oh, thanks for that advice, Uncle Billy. Talk to you, hopefully not too soon.
All right. See you later, you jerk.
Well, that was interesting. That was fun. In a annoying way. I hope you found that entertaining. Probably won't be the last time we'll hear from Uncle Billy. And yeah, I just want to say thank you for listening to the show. This about wraps it up. I have a little thing where I say all the things I want to say when I want to wrap up the show, but honestly, I kind of feel like you know what's up. You think this is interesting or fun and you want to share it? Share it. I don't think I need to be telling you that every time. And I do have an Instagram if you want to keep an eye on things and what I'm up to. But for the more intimate, detailed experience, this is where it's going to be. I would say stuff like Instagram or social media to me is supplementary / a tool to let people know what else I'm doing. Just want to say thank you again. I'll catch you next time.
Oh, is it recording me?
Go a little closer, give a little smooch for the...